Hey guys, what's up? Jan here. So in this video I want to tell you a little bit more about how you should think about niching down or niching down with your agency. So a lot of you have been told the lie that you need to niche down and help, let's say, marketing agencies with 22 and a half employees that operate out of Texas. Well, this can work, and I'll tell you when you should use this type of specific avatar. In general, it's not really a good idea. And yeah, just going crazy, seeing all this information around on the web, saying you need to niche down, niche down, niche down. Well, it just doesn't make any sense. I see agencies coming around that are helping these crazy specific avatars. Well, there's no apparent reason for doing so. And I think actually if you do it without there actually being a reason to do it, it will work against you. So I'll explain why in this video. And if you watch this video till the end, you'll know exactly how to think about niching, when to use it, when not to use it, and kind of like make sure you don't look a fool when pitching this business owner. So yeah, so basically niching down your market. So the whole gist of this video is don't make the mistake of niching down just to niche down. What I see a lot of people do, like I said, is just choose a niche that's so incredibly specific that just doesn't make any sense anymore. So I want to kind of go over what are the benefits of niching down. So why are you doing it in the first place? And then kind of relay that back to when you should do it or not. So the first main big benefit of niching down is that your marketing and sales can be more specific, meaning it attracts better when doing lead gen. So if you're doing lead generation to a company, let's say you're doing Facebook ads, or it doesn't really matter even what kind of channel it is, but maybe let's do cold email. A lot of you guys probably have sent cold email before. Well, if you're reaching out to, let's say, dentists, but you're also reaching out to doctors, it works better if you say, hey, we help dentists when you send to the dentist, and it helps better when you say, hey, we help doctors when you send to the doctor. And yeah, basically it makes it more specific, so they feel more drawn to, as opposed to combining the two and emailing a campaign where you're saying, hey, we help local businesses. And it's just less of a, yeah, basically specific email, which makes the results not as good. But if we think back, do you really niche down your entire company just to personalize basically your marketing message more to different avatars? The answer is no. If you're doing cold email, you can send a different cold email to different segments of the market. In fact, you should, but you shouldn't niche down your entire company because of it, because it's just not needed. Your marketing campaign will perform yeah, just as well if you don't niche down your entire company and just niching down the cold email campaign. And if you're doing it with Facebook ads, or if you're sending traffic to a website, obviously this is where a funnel comes in, where you can tailor a funnel to different segments of the market, still getting the benefit without having to niche down. Second thing is case studies work better when they're as relevant as possible. So this is true, but again, like I said, you can niche down because you can tell, for example, the doctor and the dentist in your case study, you can both tell them they're looking for more, I don't know, walk-in appointments. I'm not this niche, but something like this, right? Or they were doing Google ads, but they weren't seeing ROI. Like, those are still very, very specific problems you're solving, and they apply to both of the yeah, target markets. And another benefit is to understand market pain points, but I kind of already touched on that. Again, you don't need to niche down your entire company to do this. Obviously, I think it's a good idea to kind of like niche a little bit. So you're, for example, you're more so niched down to, let's say, the local businesses. And then in your marketing, you take the different segments and yeah, speak to each one of them. But there's no real reason to niche down to just one of them if there's no unique thing you're doing for that specific avatar. So one really good example I can think of is I see a lot of, or I seen a couple, sorry for the noise, I see it in a couple where there's basically an email marketing agency for e-commerce, but then they only work with fashion brands. And that just doesn't make any sense, because you're already niched down to e-com, you're already niched down to email marketing, and then you're niching down even more, right, to fashion. But why fashion, right? You're already the expert at email marketing for e-commerce. No need to niche down to fashion, right? Like, it's too much. And I'll get into it why it's a bad thing. I go to the negative side of niching down too much, but I hope that makes sense. And yeah, just all in all, the conclusion is just niche down per marketing campaign, and you'll have the same benefits without having to constrain your company too much. Yes, choose local businesses and don't do local businesses and this and that, but don't niche down like one layer further. Second thing is fulfillment. So this is actually a bigger one in my opinion on why you should niche down, because like we said, right, marketing, it's very easy to do different campaigns per different avatar. But with fulfillment, you really want to niche down, because if you're niching down with your fulfillment, you will get those high margins. So in my last video as well, I talked about more so the traditional agencies. And when you look at traditional agencies, one thing they all have in common, apart from the low margins, is that they do everything under the sun. So they offer everything to everyone. So anyone can basically buy SEO from them and then also get a website. And this makes everything super custom. And even if they were able to do a good job, they will do it very inefficiently, which obviously will hurt margins. So if you're watching this video, you're probably running an agency to obviously get cash flow as well. So yeah, inefficiency is not a good thing. So benefit from fulfillment, if you niche down, is that you do the same thing over and over again. It just makes it easy because it's the same thing, so you just know what to do. So there's no thinking about what to do, it's only how to do it. The same inputs lead to similar outputs. So this is a very big one, also when selling. So you kind of know what to expect. Like if you're selling someone, I can get you an X amount of leads. You know what to do to get there, and that just makes it a lot more easy. And then knowledge compounds. So if you're niching down your fulfillment, let's say you're niching down to only doing SEO, you will get really good at SEO. If you only do web design, you'll get really good at web design. And this compounds, and basically you'll get kind of like a network effect where getting a new client will help the next client as well, because you'll learn more, or obviously if you have a team, the team will learn more on how to fulfill the service. So basically with the fulfillment, I would say niche down on the service you provide, and you're golden. Or let's say you're at a certain revenue point. So actually within my agency, we're kind of there right now where we have the service nailed. We do cold email lead generation in a local European market. But we want to upsell clients because clients have good results. And after 4 to 5 months, they ask me, what else can we do, right? Like this is working, we love it, let's keep it running. What else can we do? So right now we're actually niching down on the problem we solve. So we solve the generation of leads. So right now we're upselling them to, or cross-selling them to lead generation on another channel, some CRM services so to improve the conversion of the leads. But we're not doing web design, right? We're still niche down in the problem we solve, and our knowledge from the one channel will carry to the other channel. And it will just make sense to kind of stay on that problem. And if we venture too much out, it will get harder, it will hurt our margins. And even with just some extra services, it's already a lot of extra complexity, which will cut in your margin, but it's worth it if you have enough clients to upsell. So these are kind of the pros and also how you should look at it. So I hope it now kind of makes sense that it's not a good idea to like triple niche down, because it just doesn't matter. Niche down on the problem you solve, or before that, niche down on the one service, and then take a segment of the market that you can maybe split one more layer down, but don't focus on that layer down, because like I said, doing email marketing for e-commerce, that's super niche. If you're only doing one service for one avatar, but if you then also only do it for fashion brands, you'll just have that super narrow focus. Instead, run a campaign to fashion brands with your fashion brand case study, but then also run a campaign to other, basically verticals within e-com. Because what are the downsides, especially when niching down without needing to? I think the biggest one is just you have a smaller market, less people to sell to, and obviously that is already a downside because there will just be less people. So if you have the same efficiency in your marketing, which you won't, you will have a little bit higher efficiency because you're more tailored, but you can also get that by doing different markets. You'll just have less clients. So less companies to sell to, less options in terms of the MarTech stack you use, so the marketing tech. So if you have a big enough audience, so let's say you niche down, we take the example again of the e-commerce agency, let's say you niche down on e-com and you only offer email marketing. There's a lot of e-com brands in the world, so you can definitely run Facebook ads to those, and that will just open up a whole new level of opportunity for you. Whereas if you're only doing like fashion brands above a certain revenue in a certain country, then it's going to be tight and it might not be possible to run Facebook ads. I don't know the exact examples of the numbers were, but that's kind of the gist of it. So the more tailored you go, basically the only thing you will end up with is manual outreach, so cold email, LinkedIn outreach, phone outreach, and then ads. I mean, maybe you can run LinkedIn ads, but it will be like an account-based marketing strategy almost. And that's typically not really worth it if you're selling an agency retainer. Like, just the process and the effort doesn't really make any sense. And then the final one, a lot of people watching this probably have a relatively new agency. So maybe you're 1 year, or maybe you just started, maybe 2 years in the game, 3 years. And if you have your blinders on, you'll basically have limited learning. So if you're only focusing on this one niche and something happens, that's a risk, right? Like something happens to this niche, or there might be some other niche that you would have been really good at, and that would have gotten you great results in terms of the results you get for the clients and the retention, etc. But you never noticed because you niched down for absolutely no reason other than someone online told you. So don't do that. Don't make the mistake of niching down just to niche down, and instead focus on taking some sort of market that has similar problems, niche down per marketing campaign for sure to make it more tailored, get better results, niche down the service you provide, and once you're going to grow out of that, niche down the problem you solve. And basically you have all of the upside of niching down without all of the downside of being like super specific for no reason. And also, to be fair, I think it kind of looks weird if you're doing that specific of a thing, because there's no differentiating factor in the fulfillment. So it's like, why only focus on that thing? It just doesn't make sense. So that's basically it. I hope this helps. I hope this kind of gets your understanding of how to niche down and when to use it and why to a next level. So if you want to help implementing this kind of stuff, I do a lot of things with automation systems as well, but just like positioning, like this is basically like the ground layer of your agency should be good as well. Yeah, click the link in the description, automated agency, watch the training, book a call if you think I can help, and subscribe, like, and see you all in the next one.